Buongiorno, everybody. Today, I've been having a lot of fun looking up what the day is. And today is National Popcorn Day. So, I heated up my pot ahead of time, so it's all set. These days, most people use microwave popcorn. And I don't like microwave popcorn. I grew up with popcorn cooked in the pot with some olive oil, melt some butter, whatever way you want to do it. But it really, truly makes a difference. So I got to tell you, when my kids were in school and I used to make them popcorn, and sometimes I'd make a batch of popcorn in the morning, some people, they're grabbing these little pre-packaged mini bags of potato chips or popcorn or whatever crap. And I'm like, I'm paying extra to have these little packages. Okay, yeah, it's easy, throw it in the bag. But you know what? Make one batch of popcorn. And I used to have the smaller lunch bags, the brown paper bags, because if you put these in plastic, then it would get soggy. So, and I would make fresh popcorn. I'd put it in either wax bags or I would put it in brown paper bags and I'd put it in their lunches. Do you know, eventually they started coming home and saying, can you give me 2 bags of popcorn today? I'm trading it with so-and-so for such and such. And I'm like, just give it to them. You don't need to trade it for crap like a ho-ho or some crap like that. So anyway, so everybody used to say, oh my gosh, can you make us some popcorn? The kids would be in the backyard and they'd be around the fire pit in the evening, and they're in high school, even later. And, I'd go out there with a big bowl, big giant bowls of popcorn. And they would be like, oh, this is the best popcorn. Of course it's the best. It's made nice and natural and fresh. So anyway, today I'm going to show you, because honestly, there's a lot of people out there, I've learned, that don't know how to make homemade popcorn without it being in the microwave. First of all, let me tell you about popcorn. Okay, I buy popcorn. This is organic popcorn from Trader Joe's. Always gonna give my little ding to Trader Joe's, ding, ding, ding. Love that place. But you can buy this at other places too. Now, it is a known fact that corn is one of the most genetically modified foods out there. But apparently, popcorn is the type of corn that they grow for popcorn, apparently has not yet been genetically modified. So in theory, it may or may not be GMO, but it's definitely pesticided. So go for the organic. Anyway, it's a very, very simple process. This has been going on for centuries, and this is how they used to make popcorn. It was either steam or oil or whatever, but it was heated. Sometimes I think just heated on a hot thing, but you gotta watch it. So anyway, I use most of the time plain olive oil, not extra virgin. This is extra virgin. See how cloudy it is? Because it's thick and more dense, and not good for frying. You're gonna put just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. Now, it also depends on how much you want to make. I'm going to make a whole bunch because we're going to have this all day. So you just coat the bottom of your pan. If you don't want to make this much, obviously, just use it. It's always proportionate to the size of your pan. So don't worry about how much, just a coating and then a single layer, maybe a couple extra of corn around the whole thing. So, corn, they've been popping since, I think it's 10,000 years. They've got evidence of corn being popped. Okay, and then, so this is like a single layer, and maybe a thick single layer, a few overlappies. You can go a little more. Just make sure that you're not overdoing it, because you don't want to. I've made it before where I've actually had the top of the pot go. It's fun. Put your lid on. Now, we have the old stories. Remember, I don't know if anybody remembers, it was a thing called Jiffy Pop. I don't know if they still sell it. It was in a little aluminum pan. You had to shake it. Yeah, you can sit and shake it. You don't really need to. What's most important is that it's just one single layer and you get some nice high heat. So this will only take a few minutes. And I'm just going to let it sit till it gets hot. And when I hear the first pop, that's when I come and start paying attention. So in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about popcorn. So anyway, it goes back like 10,000 years, I think originally from Mexico. But in the 1800s, they really started using it, and somebody dubbed it popped corn, whereas before it was called pearls or something, these granules, you know. But come to find out, the way it started in movie theaters, it was not initially something that movie theater owners liked, because to them it was a mess and it was hassle, and it got to be popular because during I think it was during the Depression, people could, you know, candies and sugared things were, you know, hard to come by or too expensive. But for some reason, the popcorn sales grew because it was so cheap. You could get like popcorn for a nickel, you know, a big batch of it or whatever. And so popcorn sales grew during the Depression. And then during the war, when sugar was hard to come by, people wanted a snack, they would do popcorn. So it was kind of interesting. So then it was I think some movie theaters were allowing popcorn vendors who were selling popcorn, and then they were making Cracker Jack. That's like really old Cracker Jack candied popcorn. So they were making those things that, hear that first burn already, first pops. I love that sound. And if Louie, my dog, was out here, as soon as he hears the first kernel pop, he comes running. He loves popcorn. So when I'm tossing the salt in it, he always gets excited. So anyway, movie theater owners were allowing popcorn vendors for a fee to hang out in front of their theaters. And then eventually some Midwest proprietor decided to put popcorn inside in the lobby of his theater. And boom, started a generation of what we know as popcorn at the movie theater. And they were making more money on the popcorn than they were on the ticket sales, which is obvious that they do the same thing today, because they charge you, what, $10 for a barrel of popcorn? You know, for, I don't know how much, honestly I forget how much a bag of this is. This will get me quite a few servings of popcorn. And, you know, like $2, $3, whatever it is. And I have a much better, you know, you go to the store and you buy popcorn already popped. For Pete's sake, it's $3 for one serving. And I get how many servings out of this same thing? And it tastes so much better. It's got more texture to it. And I don't know, it just tastes good. Okay, so you wait and listen for those last couple pops. And then turn it off. And sometimes it'll still pop one more. There it goes. Okay, pretty done. Always take your lid off right away. Now let me explain a couple things to you. There's a couple of tricks about popcorn. Okay, let's move this bag out of here. Number one, always salt it right away. Because right now it's got the steam and it's still a little bit, I'll say, damp. And so, ooh, that side's hot. Okay, so I'm going to put half in this bowl and half in this bowl. Okay. The reason I'm doing this is I'm going to show you two different ways to do it. Oops, one burnt piece. Okay. So first off, you always want to salt it right away. And don't be, even if you're heavy on the salt, it's not as much salt as you get in free. So then you just gently toss it. I'm going to do the other one real quick. Now this one I'm only putting a little bit, not as much as the first one. So I'm making two different times. Okay, so this first one, you can just have it like this. This is totally perfect. And because you cooked it in olive oil, it's got a little hint of that good flavor. Now here I melted some butter before. This was just 1/4 of a stick of butter. Little teeny bit. It's not much. So I'm just spreading it around. And then I'm doing the same thing very quickly. Toss it. Always toss in a bigger bowl than you have popcorn. Because that's when Louie gets happy, when I put it all in one big bowl. And he's like, oh yeah, there's some coming flying for me. Okay. Nice. Now this one, another thing we like doing in our house is using grated cheese. And again, you got to do this while it's warm, otherwise it all falls to the bottom. If you do it when it's cold, forget it. So you do it while it's warm, it'll stick to the pasta. I'm so used to putting cheese on pasta. It'll stick to the popcorn. There'll always be some on the bottom, and then you take those last ones and you scrape up the bottom of the cheese on the bottom. But now I've got Italian cheese popcorn. That's so good. So many other ways you can do popcorn. So right here, what I just showed you, with a little olive oil and 1 layer of popcorn, and you can make salted popcorn, buttered popcorn, or cheesy popcorn. You can do cinnamon sugar, you can do whatever you like. It all comes out good. It's always, and you know what, if you screw up a batch, it's only couple cents worth of popcorn. Do it again if you don't like it. Now, you got to be careful and you got to watch it, but you saw how quick this was. That wasn't much longer than throwing it in the microwave for, I don't know, a couple minutes. I have no idea how many minutes a microwave popcorn goes in the popcorn, in the microwave, because I don't use a microwave. But you saw how quick this was. Just a couple of minutes, and I made more. So to get this much popcorn, look at this. To get this much, I'd have to probably do 4 bags of microwave popcorn. So therefore, cooking it on the stovetop is actually quicker, because I don't think you put multiple bags of popcorn in the microwave at once. Even if you did 2, you got to run it twice. This was all at one time, so quick. While the popcorn was cooking, I melted a little butter, took the cheese out of the refrigerator. Ooh, that took so long. You know, so do something healthier for yourself as a healthy snack. This is great. And now, one of the reasons that today is National Popcorn Day, it goes right along with what I'm always preaching. Yes, I'm always saying, come to the table. But really, truly, my whole come to the table, the back to the table movement is about, yes, eating dinner at the table, but it's really about connection. It's really about nourishing each other as families, as friends, as coworkers, as roommates, as whatever, okay? But people, as human beings. So National Popcorn Day is here for the sake of encouraging people to come together and watch a movie. Now, usually, like for example, when I say if you're going on a date or you're having date night with your husband, most of the time try to do stuff you're facing each other. But once in a while, you know what, enjoying a good movie together, sharing some good popcorn, you know, the kids are always tossing them up and trying to catch them in their mouth or tossing them to each other. It's always a little bit of fun. Sometimes you're watching a movie together, it gives you something to talk about later on or the next day, or you refer back. Like I've been watching NCIS, you know, I was watching it now for the last month and a half until I finished watching it last week. And of course, so what are we doing? I'm referring to, oh, that's a Gibbs move, or that's a this move, or that's so-and-so, or she's like Ziva, or, you know, you're referring to characters because they become part of your life. And it's just fun. It's entertainment. And so this is something that you can make from home. It smells up the whole house like yummy popcorn, and the dog is happy, and the hubby's happy, and the kids are happy, and the guests are happy, and then your kids will go home or go to school and trade it for other goodies. Then you got to make double because you want your kid to eat the good stuff. So anyway, I truly encourage you to have a big bowl of popcorn and watch a nice movie tonight. Something that you're going to talk about the rest of the week. Find a good comedy or a good documentary or a good, something that is conversation worthy, not just an action, you know, action flick that, you know, the story's done and it's over and you're glad in a way because, whew, it takes more energy to watch one of those things that makes you sit on the edge of your seat and you're all tense. By the time you're done, you're like totally not relaxed. So get yourself those little mini Coca-Colas, because, you know, I really don't promote a lot of sodas. But get those, I love those little mini cans or the little glass bottles. Enjoy one little glass bottle and then drink water the rest of the night with some popcorn. Don't oversalt it. And for God's sakes, don't burn the popcorn. You saw how quick it was, so you can stay there for the minute, but you burn the popcorn, it smells up a high heaven, so don't burn the popcorn. And if you do burn the popcorn, take that pot outside right away, let it air out before it smells up your whole house, because I've done that before, and everybody's like, what'd you do? You're burning the house down. Once in a blue moon, even I burn stuff. But it is really, really worth it to make your own popcorn. So happy National Popcorn Day. And, you know, have some popcorn, as they would say in Italy. I don't know how you say popcorn in Italy. All my friends all say popcorn. So they just Italianize the American word. But enjoy making some fresh homemade popcorn. Go buy some popcorn kernels. Stop buying the crap in a bag and make it yourself. So until I see you next, have a wonderful day and eat some popcorn. Mwah. Ciao.